Coming live from the 215, it's your boy ROCKIN, REESE, bringing you another edition of WCC Ring Rockers. How we doing out there, Ring Rocker Nation? Woo! All right, first of all, I believe on the line we got the new, I can't believe it, the king was dethroned apparently this week, the new number one, Mr. Thursday Night, Big Red, Mr. Recipe Cooker himself. Red, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. How you doing, bro?
Yeah. You know what? We was tasting the recipe last night. It was tasting extra delicious. That's probably why you made number one finally.
Right?
Yeah. Also, we got the Bullhammer himself, not Wade, but Doug Barrett. Doug, what's good?
I am doing good. Just drinking some Pac-Man energy drink.
Oh Lord! And of course, we can't forget, live and direct from Los Angeles, California. He's working on making sure that we keep everything in order. The hardest working man in WCC today, the one, the only El.CIBERNETIco.
What's going on, Maurice? How are we doing tonight?
Doing good, brother. Hey, man, I know you just not try to do the Alberto. It don't work as good as the fun. It don't work when you try to fandango the Alberto theme. It don't work.
You think I give a shit?
Yeah. No, because you'd be too intoxicated to try if you did. All right, but anyway, let's get down to business because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I know we were expecting the indie show, but I didn't feel like having a fight on my damn show. So I pushed that back to next week because tonight I'm going to discuss Punk's Pipe Bomb. Can you believe it's already been 2 years since that infamous night in Las Vegas, y'all? Yeah, we're going to discuss that, and we're going to finally crown our WCC King of the Ring. If y'all been paying attention the last 2 weeks, hopefully you have. You know the finals are the Macho Man and the Hitman. I will announce the winner in just a brief moment, but now I gotta get my Sean Mooney on because it's time to go to the event center. And first and foremost, I am real excited about the first event I got coming up because it's like me, live from the 215 House of Hardcore this Saturday, June 22nd, from the National Guard Armory, 2700 Southampton Road. Like I said, it's in Philly. It's doors open at 5. Bell time 7:30. General admission tickets for this are $25, ladies and gentlemen. They are the only ticket else has been sold out. And if you show up at 5, you can have your picture, and this is the part I'm excited about. You can have your picture with Slick Rick, styling and profiling with the 16-time world champion Ric Flair. And by the way, I'm just letting y'all know, after that pic goes up, I am not taking it down. Well, at least not till next month. But after that, you can also meet the hardcore legend Terry Funk as well. And that meet and greet, like I said, will be from 5 through 7. And then the wrestling action will go on in the main event. And man, this is going to be high-flying action at its finest. The former WWE, WCW, ECW superstar, Too Cold Scorpio, the Ray de Valladares winner back from the February National Pro Wrestling Day, will take on the Shaman of Sexy, the Prince of Parkour himself, John Morrison. Also in singles action, the Innovator of Violence, Tommy Dreamer, with cornerman Terry Funk, will go one-on-one with the Canadian Technician Lance Storm. In tag team action, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, will team up against former WWE Tag Team Champions, the Hooligans, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Former WWE United States Champion, MVP Montel Vontavious Porter, will go one-on-one with Sami Callihan. And in a triple threat match, the Canadian Destroyer, former TNA X Division Champion P.D. Williams, will go one-on-one with the premier athlete Tony Nese and yours truly, Alex Reynolds. And You will also see appearances by Rick and the Steiner brothers, the hardcore icon himself, the Sandman, Carlito, and yes, folks, that is cool. All right, of course, former WCW Superstar Crowbar, former ECW Tag Team Champion Dastardly Danny Doring, the full-blooded Italian himself, Little Guido, former TNA Knockout Rosita. Also, you can see Eddie Kingston, Vic Delicious, and Hale Collins. And to learn more about the HOH, you can check them out at houseofhardcore.net or hit them up on Twitter at houseofhardcore. Of course, that's this Saturday, June 22nd, National Guard Armory, 2700 Southampton Road, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19154. Also this Saturday, Peach State Wrestling Alliance will be presenting wrestling action from the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia, 30117. Doors are open at 6:30. Bell time is 7:30. For ticket information, call 770-328-1162 or 770-328-2251, or you can email them at pwafanbase@yahoo.com. In action, Shane Knowles will defend the PWA Heritage title against Rick Michaels. Stony Hooker will defend the Georgia Junior Heavyweight title against Alex Avgarinos. In tag team action, Mike Jackson and the Wild Child Joey Kidman will take on the Exotic Ones. Special stipulation in this match, the loser of the fall must leave the PWA. In singles action, Jed Johnson will go one-on-one with the French sensation Romeo. And in singles action, Nigel Sherrod will go one-on-one with Ace Haven. To learn more about Peach State Wrestling Alliance, check them out at peachstatewrestlingalliance.com. And they'll be present. PWA Wrestling Action will be at the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia, 30117. And a shout out to our neighbors up north, because Prairie Wrestling Alliance presents Night of Champions 11 from the Northgate Lions Rec Center, 7524 139th Avenue, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, T5C 3H7. Doors are open at 5, bell time is 6. Tickets for this event are, for general admission, $15 for seniors. For kids 12 and under, you can get up $15 in advance, $20 at the door. For 13 through 17, $20 in advance, $25 at the door. And for adults, $25 in advance, $30 at the door. And for all ages, you could get second and third row seats, $30 in advance, $35 at the door. For the PWA Heavyweight Championship, Dylan Knight will defend against Andy Anderson, and this match will take place inside of a steel cage. It's championship versus championship, as William Saint defends his PWA Esteem title against the Mayhem champion, Brandon Van Danielson. For the PWA Canadian Tag Team titles, Chris Steele and Duke Durango, a.k.a. Team Hall of Fame, will take on the team of Travis Cole and Danny Boy McIntyre. In an I Quit cage match, Azrael will go one-on-one with Michael Richard Blaze. And in a special attraction, reigning TNA Knockouts champion Mickie James will go one-on-one with Jordan Brooks. In tag team action, Hollywood Dusty Adonis will team up with special guest Colt Cabana as they take on Chase Patrick and Kenny Stryker. And in an 8-man elimination match, with the winner getting a match for any PWA title of his choosing, the PWA Original Marquee will compete against Nightmare 2, Derek Cross, Priest, Brody Malibu, Richie Rage, Gamma Singh Jr., and a mystery opponent. Also, during this event, you will also see the PWA Hall of Fame inductions of Dusty Adonis and Sergeant Hazard himself, Don Ferguson. To learn more about Prairie Wrestling Alliance, you can check them out at pwawrestling.ca or check them out on Twitter at PWA Wrestling CA. That's Prairie Wrestling Alliance Night of Champions 11, Saturday, June 22nd, from Northgate Lions Rec Center, 7524 139 Avenue, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, T5C3H7. NWA Sports Entertainment Wrestling presents Heatwave from the USW Hall, 675 Unkefer Avenue, Marion, Ohio, 43302. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is 6:15. You can get tickets in advance at Norris Grocery on 901 Bennett Street in Marion for $5. And if you get them at the door, all tickets are worth $7. In a number one contenders match for the citywide title, the action superstar Owen Travers will go one-on-one with Victor Cross. Twisted will be in action competing against the mystery opponent. And SCW Tag Team Champions L.CIBERNETICO will take on the Legends of Darkness. To learn more about SCW, you can check them out at scwprowrestling.net or hit them up on Twitter at scwmarion. That's NWA Sports Entertainment Wrestling presenting Heatwave from the USW Hall, 675 Unkefer Avenue, Marion, Ohio, 43302. Also on June 22nd, Anarchy Wrestling will come to the Anarchy Arena, 4236 Level Grove Road, Cornelia, Georgia, 30531. Bell time for this event is 8 p.m. All tickets are $10. Children 5 and under get in for free. For the Anarchy heavyweight title, the untouchable Jeremy Vane will defend the title against the Big Hurt Getter. In match number 4 of the Best of 5 series, Seth DeLay will try to tie up the match as he takes on Anthony Henry. For the Anarchy Tag Team title, the Washington Bullets will take on the team of B.J. Hancock and Joey Reimer. In singles action, Slim J will compete against Corey Hollis. And in singles action, Azrael will take on Seven. To learn more about Anarchy Wrestling, you can check them out at anarchy-wrestling.net or hit them up on Twitter at anarchywrestle. Remember, that's Anarchy Wrestling coming from the Anarchy Arena, 4236 Level Grove Road, Cornelia, Georgia, 30531. And now, Sunday, June 23rd, Bellatrix Female Warriors presents Bellatrix 6 from Epic Studios on Magdalen Road in Norwich. Box office 0800-046-8164. Doors are open at 6:30. Tickets are £8, including the booking fee. For the Real Quality Wrestling European Women's Championship, England's own Liberty will defend against Portugal's Shana. For the WAW British Women's title, Ireland's Rhea O'Reilly will defend against England's Erin Angel. In singles action, Italy's Queen Amaya will go against Scotland's Kaylee Ray. Finland's Aurora will go one-on-one with England's Destiny. France's Execute Sweet will take on England's Scarlet. Scotland's Carmel Jacobs will go one-on-one with England's Soraya Knight. And in tag team action, England's Chanel and Violet O'Hara will team up against Scotland's Viper and Betty Noir. In singles action, Norway's Miss Mina will take on Scotland's Nikki Storm, and Germany's Alpha Female will go one-on-one with England's Penelope. To learn more about the BFW, you can check them out at wawwuk.com or hit them up on Twitter at BellatrixFW. That's Bellatrix Female Warriors presenting Bellatrix 6, Sunday, June 23rd from Epic Studios, Magdalen Road in Norwich. Box office 0800-046-8164. And finally, Squared Circle Wrestling, Monday, June 24th. Yes, right, I said Monday, June 24th, presents An Evening with Mr. Monday Night from the American Legion Post 80. And the address is 76 Main Street, Binghamton, New York, 13905. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 8. General admission tickets are $15 in advance, $20 at the door. And tickets for second row are worth $25. Front row tickets are sold out. And the reason why, because, like I said, it's an evening with Mr. Monday Night, which, of course, means one man, Rob Van Dam, competing in the main event, going one-on-one with Sami Callihan. For the 2CW title, Isis Effects will defend against the Juggernaut, Jason Axe. For the 2CW tag team titles, Punisher Van Slyke and Kevin the Man Graham will defend against CK. In singles action, Colin Delaney will go one-on-one with Cheech. Super Cop Nick Justice will go one-on-one with Milan X. Slick Wagner Brown will go one-on-one with Ludovica. ZS3 will go one-on-one with Eric Michael Timmons, a.k.a. EMT. And in singles action, Studley Steve McKenzie will go one-on-one with Peter D. Order. And there will also be a special appearance from Jessica Havoc as well. To learn more about Squared Circle Wrestling, you can check them out at 2CWWrestling.com or hit them up on Twitter at 2CW. Oh, I forgot, ladies and gentlemen, before we forget, at 6 p.m. doors will open. Rob Van Dam will be giving pictures and autographs. They'll be $20 a piece, $30 for a combo. If you want extra people in or extra autographs, each one will cost an additional $10. However, for the combo, you can have 2 people in your picture. You can have 2 people in your picture for $30, and additional people will cost $10 extra. All right, remember, that is Squared Circle Wrestling presenting An Evening with Mr. Monday Night, Monday, June 24th, from American Legion Post 80. The address is 76 Main Street, Binghamton, New York, 13905, and that is the WCC Event Center. Now, Doug, Red, yeah.
Yo.
WCC King of the Ring. It's been interesting. We got down Macho Man defeating Jerry the King of Lawler in the semifinals. Bret Hart defeating Edge in the other semifinal match. So we had 2 men who have been 2-time kings. Now, but only one would make it to trifecta. Red, who do you think wound up taking this one?
I'm going to have to go with the Rated R Superstar.
Yeah, it was Macho or Hitman.
Oh, Macho or Hitman?
Yeah, Macho Man and Hitman are the finals.
Okay, that's the final. My bad. I'm gonna have to go with my boy Macho Man then.
All right. And Douglas, who'd you wind up taking?
I took Bret Hart solely because of the fact of in his 2 King of the Ring winners, he's at least won the WWE title during his run as king.
Well, I do have to admit, this literally was a last-minute vote. By a score of 10-9, with the final vote coming from, interestingly enough, Canada's own Rob Gosling. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, actually, it was Rob. Actually, it was Rob who was our final vote. Oh, dear God, no. It was, ooh, yeah, the Macho King reigns supreme. So Randy Savage, the newest member of the WCC Ring Rock and Royalty, we salute you as the WCC King of the Ring. Yeah. So how about that one?
Okay, who voted for Savage to win again?
Believe it or not, the deciding vote came down to Rob.
Okay, Rob, you are no more Canadian. You must leave the country. Get out.
Damn. You done deported the man out of his own country.
Yeah, we're sending him to Mexico. He can learn how to speak Spanish. It's just as bad as speaking French.
Wow. On that note, I think we need to head into the ring Rock and Rumble on this one, because we got to get down to the real nitty-gritty, and I got to set this up. It was June 27th, 2011. You were probably home watching the Monday Night Raw, not expecting anything out of the norm to happen. But then a little something occurred. After a tables match between R-Truth and John Cena, CM Punk would have a microphone in hand. He would sit down Indian style at the top of the rampway. What would happen next, however, would be an event that would change the wrestling world as we knew it, because it would create a new term for wrestling: pipe bomb. Because on this night, CM Punk perhaps pushed the envelope further than ever before by mentioning other wrestling companies and threatening to take the WWE title to said company. And even so much as calling both John Cena and The Rock the two biggest ass kickers in the company. And as well calling out the McMahon family, calling out pretty much anybody and everybody in the WWE to a point. Now, I gotta remember, like, when this first broke out, we were a hotbed when it came to this. Let me go to Red on this one. Like, Red, when you originally heard this pipe bomb, like, can you describe how you were feeling? Or what was going through your mind? Anything?
When I first saw that, I was like, wow, preach. I had to agree with him on just about everything. I mean, he said John Cena was an ass kisser. I totally agree with that. And then, I mean, I think what put me the icing on the cake when he said the company would be better off when no Vinnie Mac dies, and I'm like, oh shit, like, really? That was perhaps the most what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know how to describe how that was. It was awesome though. I mean, he started the shit. I mean, hey, like he said in the promo when WWE 13 first came out, he brought attitude back to WWE.
And I do gotta admit, it was partially revolutionary to say the least. And it was like,
right. I mean,
yeah. And plus, I gotta admit, it was controversial too, because it was like, you remember what he said after he called out Cena? It was like, yeah, but you may be an ass kisser, but you're not as big as Dwayne is.
Right. And I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. And then, I mean, he was just like, I mean, you know, everybody was crying about how they wanted attitude back in WWE, but when he dropped his pipe bomb, some people wanted to cry about it. I'm like, well, y'all wanted it. He gave it to you. Now you want to bitch about it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm at it, Doug. I don't know how you're going to top that one, bro.
My turn. Well, when I first saw it, I was very pissed off and upset at what he said. And now, I'm not defending Cena because everyone knows who listens to me knows I don't like him. I don't like his character. And yes, he probably does kiss the most, that's same as The Rock, but don't you think it's funny he didn't mention guys like Hogan or Austin or Undertaker or anybody else who's been big who they probably kissed ass to get on top? So, yeah, I can't. And he's probably kissed a little ass too, but he won't admit it. That's probably why he was champion for that year, let's be honest. And it also pissed me off because I'm from the 80s, okay? I'm from the firm belief, you know, whatever problems you have, you leave them in the back, you deal with them backstage, and you don't, and you know, all that, you know, you leave it in the back, come on and put on a good show. I didn't like the fact he broke, pretty much opened the veil to what happens backstage. I didn't like that, and I know a lot of the veteran wrestlers didn't like it either. Now, of course, the Attitude Era fans, I will agree with him on this. Most of them did bitch because, hey, Punk gave you what you wanted, and then you bitch about it. I'm like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You gotta either deal with it or stop saying you want the Attitude Era back. Simple as that.
Yeah, man. Now, anybody that has listened to any of our WCC broadcasts over the last 2 years know that Elle and I have perhaps been the two most vocal about CM Punk. And it is no secret that we have more or less been against him from this infamous night. And I'm not going to change my opinions, but I'll also admit I was partially blind about. Oh, by the way, for anybody that saw my post, I warned y'all was not going to like what I was going to say. Because let's talk numbers here. Doug, you brought it up. 434 days he was WWE champion. I got another number that I want to bring up. 723, which would be from June 27th of 2011 through today, which is how many days I have had to listen to how many people treat CM Punk like he was LeBron James coming to Miami.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because let me tell y'all something. Where was all this CM Punk support when he was in ECW? Now, granted, because the only people I heard chanting for him were the people that actually were in those arenas when ECW was actually somewhat kind of like ECW.
Oh,
ECW
I'll give you one better, Rockin' Reese, on that one. Let's not talk the ECW fans. Where were the Ring of Honor fans, who watched him when he was there? Where were they at doing all this time before this?
Oh, no. Those were the ones that were chanting for him were probably ones from, were either Ring of Honor fans who were at those ECW shows or, hell, even, TNA when it was in the Asylum. If y'all remember back that far.
Yeah, he was with Raven. I remember that.
Him. Yeah, and you know what? And here's where, or even after this, right? Even after he made the main WWE roster, I remember very clearly CM Punk, WrestleMania 25, no provocation whatsoever, was booed the entire match. And like I said, no provocation whatsoever, fans just magically turned on him. And it was until a point, and it kept going until he cashed in his Money in the Bank on Jeff Hardy. His second Money in the Bank, first time he did it against the Radio Superstar Edge. And it was from that point all the way to the pipe bomb, people couldn't give two craps about CM Punk. Even when he joined the Nexus, it was we liked it for a little bit, but then he went back under the radar again. But then a pipe bomb gets dropped, and now everybody wants to treat CM Punk like he's a friggin' royalty or whatever. And it's so I'm going to tell all you. So I'm going to tell all you too, and I'm not going to address every CM Punk fan because I don't know which ones of you may have been with him from the beginning. But for those of you that I definitely know that were with him from the beginning, you're definitely excluded from this as well. For those of y'all that I ain't even heard a peep about this dude before that damn pipe bomb was dropped. Man, I want to tell y'all this. Y'all, to me, are wrestling's version of Miami Heat fans. Because y'all ain't said nothing before LeBron showed up. And now, when y'all there, it's oh, and Punk's doing great. Oh, y'all be there 24/7 watching your TVs. When he ain't there, y'all make like a Heat fan leaving the arena, even though there's like 7 minutes left in the damn game. And I was like, I'll be honest with CM Punk. I'll be honest on my feelings about CM Punk. I never truly hated the guy. Let's get that clear right now. What I wasn't liking was the fact that he thought he was being revolutionary with this whole which, by the way, if anybody ever watched the episode, and I have brought this, as a fact, I was the very first person who brought this up. 20 minutes before he even gets on the mic, the Raw logo that usually comes on at the end of the show that lets you know they're getting ready to cut and go off the air. That popped up a full 20 minutes before he even got on the mic. And I was like, right then and there, that already killed it, because then that let me know, they're going to try and pass this off. They're going to try and pass this off as a shoot, but instead, I already knew this was going to be a work. And it was like, everybody was treating this like it was a real shoot, when in actuality, it was nowhere close to one, even though, yeah, he may have been saying what a lot of people may have been feeling.
All right.
Well, and then, go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, I'm going to take this one for a little bit, because you just brought it up, because the Logo thing. I own the CM Punk DVD that they released, Best in the World, because I'm a CM Punk fan. I remember his Ring of Honor days, so... And you're right, most of them now act like LeBron James, Miami Heat fans who are dumb as shit. He said it. The night he got there, they pretty much told him, we're going to hand you the mic, and you can say whatever you want. And he says it in the DVD. They let me say whatever I had in my mind and my heart. So, yeah, that's a little scripted. I found that, and I do agree it was suspicious when they showed the Raw logo, but when it's saying in the DVD, that shows. They pretty much gave him permission, so how can he consider it a pipe bomb?
Yeah, and then on top of that, here is the most interesting thing, and I kind of found it funny when Cena kind of called him out back at that Raw in Montreal like a year later. It was funny. The night you made the most noise was the night your mic went silent. And I was like, there was the ultimate tip to this whole thing, is like, if WWE really wanted to, like, let this go, yeah, they would have cut that mic way sooner than they ever did. But it was like, they knew they were getting a reaction, so they just let Punk spat off. But then it was like, why cut the mic eventually?
Mm-hmm. And, I'm just going to say it before, I know because we're still going to be talking about it, but I'm just going to say it. CM Punk's going to regret that pipe bomb when he retires for one reason. And I'm going to make a point about this. What is Mick Foley known for? What is the one thing he's known for?
Besides his books,
Besides his books, what match is he known for?
Hardcore matches.
Well, more specifically, that one Hell in a Cell match.
Yep.
I don't know how many times either he's been asked about it at these wrestling fest, or these independent shows, how many times he's been asked to the point where he gets sick of it. When CM Punk retires and he starts doing this, going to these independent shows or these fan fests, as well as I do, there's only going to be one thing on the mind. They're not going to ask, how did you enjoy your Ring of Honor days or TNA days? They're going to ask him about the pipe bomb. At the end of the day, that's all he's going to be remembered for, is that pipe bomb. No more, no less.
You know what? I want to be honest with you, Doug. Till you said that, I honestly did not think about that, because it was like, to be honest with you, hey, I'd like, quote unquote, never associated with it, but then it was like, out of any pipe bomb he's had since, or even just like a promo for that matter, where he's actually wanted to cut off with somebody, like, nothing really had that much impact on it since then. It's like, yeah, you call yourself the voice of the voiceless, but yet your words aren't saying nothing. And quite honestly, most of your actions weren't either. Because you made all this promise about change, yet what's really changed all except the fact that you actually made yourself relevant? I mean, sure, you've, like, mentioned going off, like, Dolph Ziggler, and you said how Ziggler should be here, how Tyson Kidd's a great workhorse, and I know he named a couple other people. How Brodus Clay shouldn't be shucking and jiving and whatever.
His good buddy Cabana.
Oh yeah, well he mentioned Colt in the first Colt, but I was meaning like I've been meaning like since then because I know he's like yeah, he's like mentioned all those people, but it's like yeah, at the end of the day, the only one that's still over is you, and it's like how much longer can he really keep this running? Because quite honestly, the day he can't keep up on a mic real good, I think that's going to start his downfall.
I agree. And looking at it from here on now, here's another thing I've noticed. All those fans that were on his bandwagon after that pipe bomb, and I know Heather's going to be pissed off at me for this, they have all jumped ship now to the newest bandwagon theme of the year, the Shield.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you said it out there. Oh, you're right. You still on, Bob?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want to get you up on that. Based on anything Doug and I wound up saying the last minute, have you had, like, anything that, like, you wanted to comment on?
You know, me, I've you know, I just didn't jump on the pump bag, man. I followed him since his ROH days and TNA days and stuff, and I have to agree with y'all. A lot of people that wasn't paying attention to Punk just started paying attention until he dropped that pipe bomb, you know. And I was like, okay, why y'all want to ride his dick now? Where were y'all when he was just starting out in WWE? When he was on the ECW brand? Where were y'all then? And you know, go ahead.
You know what, you just said that you brought up a great point. He used the pipe bomb to become WWE champion, and everyone was happy. Where were these guys when he won his first world title and second world title that apparently many of them forget?
Right. I mean, and I guess they were like, because at that time, you know, he was healing, and he took it from everybody's favorite Jeff Hardy. That's what that was.
Well, I never liked Jeff Hardy. That actually made me want to start cheering for him again. But during his first world title reign, no one gave a shit. I mean, go back to when he first won it from Edge. Excluding the match for JBL he had no one cared, and the only time anybody KO'd was when he had to forfeit the belt thanks to a sneak attack.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because it was like, despite the fact that actually won the oh my god moment for when he cashed in on Edge, I was like, yeah, pretty much, they pretty much made CM Punk look like a weak champion because he either fought to no contest or he wound up losing it, all except for his match at SummerSlam with JBL.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he did wind up winning matches, yeah, somebody wound up interfering to him.
Yeah, I mean, excluding his run as WWE champion, if you go back to look at his world titles, there were probably some of the worst world title runs, excluding Swagger's and Ziggler's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also, you know, there was also a little controversy when I look back at CM Punk's career, because unfortunately, you know what else he's going to be linked to? It matters of fact, and this also, scarily enough, being this incident also happened this very month.
I think I know which one you're talking about, was the Kristen Moore incident, correct?
Yep. Because
Yeah,
we all forget, this was supposed to be the rivalry that actually elevated CM Punk, but unfortunately it never happened.
Nope. And that's the astonishing thing. You don't see CM Punk talk about the feud he was supposed to have with Benoit or anything. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't want to say anything. Now, that may be because WWE wants him not to, or that may be his own deal. I don't know what, but, you know.
Yeah, now, let me take to the, one final thing. Since it was kind of a hot topic on Monday, Red, I'm going to start with you on this one. Do you expect a pipe bomb now from CM Punk after the Brock Lesnar attack that just happened Monday? And if so, do you think he will also out Paul Heyman as well?
Oh, hell yeah. He's gonna blame Paul Heyman for that, because I mean that it was too much of a coincidence for Brock Lesnar to come out there when Punk early in the night told him that he didn't want him coming out to ringside with him anymore, that he didn't need his help winning matches. Then all of a sudden Brock Lesnar shows up and then comes to F5 him. Oh yeah, he had something to say about that.
Yeah, Doug?
He's going to say something, and I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's going to be as good as the pipe bomb we're talking about now. It's probably going to be a decent one, but all this is pretty much, I think we can guarantee it. They just want Punk to be face, and that's pretty much it on this.
And, actually, I'm thinking this one may actually wind up topping it, because for anybody that has ever dealt business with Paul Heyman, they would know, Paul has been a sneaky son of a bitch. I ain't going to lie. He has probably pinched more pockets than most lawyers in a single country.
Yeah, and Chris Jericho can tell you that one.
Yeah, the right before ECW could tell you that one.
Yeah, shoot, they could tell you that. They could tell you that in WCW, but that's another issue. But it's here's the one thing I like to see with this whole scenario is that in the end, CM Punk pretty much wound up becoming a puppet. And I know fans, y'all may hate me for saying this, but look what wound up happening. Because you know who's going to be the big winner at SummerSlam? Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wrong. No, because you want to know why I say Heyman's going to wind up being a big winner? Because and matter of fact, and I remember when everybody started the Punk Lesnar talk, I saw an interview from Paul Heyman recently, just after the Punk and Lesnar talks first started. And it was I forgot what his comparison. I think he was comparing it to if a guy had a choice between having two mistresses or something like that, or something oddballish. But it was the analogy in a weird way made sense, because Paul Heyman technically although he'll be representing Lesnar now, technically has both sides of a main event, because he's been majorly responsible or influential rather, in CM Punk's career. He's been very, very influential in Brock Lesnar's career. As he's represented both men for a long time. So it's either way, Heyman comes out the biggest winner, because especially if because he's on both sides of a main event.
Right. And I don't know. Did y'all watch what's called earlier tonight, the main event?
Yeah.
No, but I'm actually getting ready to see a replay now.
No, I was just asking because Cody Rhodes said the same thing that I said about Punk and Brock Lesnar, even though Paul Heyman represented both. You've never ever seen them at the same time in the same place with Heyman. Never ever. Since Heyman's been back and Brock's been back and he was representing both of them, they never ever came out at the same time with Heyman. Not one time.
Oh, that is an interesting point.
And Reese, to your point, because you were talking about, how Heyman was influential in both their careers, CM Punk technically owes everything he's got in WWE to Paul Heyman.
Oh no, well, he's even admitted it. He said it on TV.
He said it in the Best in the World DVD that Paul Heyman was the only one who took a chance on me when they were rebuilding ECW.
Yeah. Oh, I hate to diffuse this bomb, but we're getting ready to wrap up in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to always support WCC and your local independent wrestling companies, and make sure you check out all of our shows each and every weeknight, starting Monday nights with the Uncensored Show, 30 minutes after Raw. We have Overload with L and Mr. Jones on Tuesday nights, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Then, of course, I'm on Wednesday nights, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. Directly after that, you could catch the longest reigning #1 show in WCC history. That, of course, being Sex Battles directly after I go off the air with the one and only DJ Gator. And then on Thursday nights, you can catch Big Red himself and the rest of the gang with the TNA Recipe 30 minutes after Impact. And Fridays, you can catch Doug and myself, Elle, and the rest of the gang for the WCC main event 30 minutes after SmackDown. And, of course, if you ever want to participate with any of these shows, make sure you call 760-569-7676, access code 200446#. Make sure y'all hit that pound key, because if you don't, you can't be a part of the show. And do not forget to check us out. Facebook, the name of the group, it's called Wrestling Commentary Central. We got a Facebook page. Also, we got WCC Live page as well. You can check that out as well. Hit us up on Twitter at WCC Live. You can also hit me up personal, Reach Rocks the Mic. And speaking of me, I'll be busy next week because, like I said, I will be taking my picture with the Nature Boy and then talking about that as part of the WCC Ring Rockers All Indie Show, which will be next Wednesday night. So everybody, indie wrestling fans, indie wrestlers, indie announcers, whatever, get on the show. It's going to be hot, and not to mention, I'm making it an extra party. I'm making this to start to my birthday weekend. Yeah, all right, I had to plug it. Sorry, folks. But anyway, for Big Red, for Doug Barrett, for El.CIBERNETICO, I am ROCKIN REESE, telling you to make sure you keep the music in the ring talk going on. WCC Ring Rockers. Stay tuned for Sex Battles with DJ Gator. It is coming up next. Keep on slamming, everybody. I will see you next week.